Good evening from my part of the world. It's another Sunday. Let's have a conversation. In the whole of these 2 weeks, I'll be here, same time. Let's have the difficult yet necessary conversations. The difficult yet necessary conversations. The conversations we know we are supposed to have with ourselves, yet many a time we wait until the cookie crumbles. And if we can't even have these conversations with ourselves, how can we sit down with other people? How can we sit down with people we claim to love to have these kind of conversations with them? Nti yɛnenam wiase ne awerɛhoɔ because anka wotumi have all that conversations na anka you could have had a solution through the conversation, through the interactions. But either you were afraid or can nipa ne bo bɛfu, woka a ɔnte aseɛ, and how adwene so nipa. Your mental health is at stake. So tomorrow is September, hooray! Whether we like it or not, it marks the beginning of the end of the third quarter. October, November, December, and this year too is gone. How have we become better since last year? I don't know about you, but September, because it's my birth month, it's a critical month for me, where I do a lot of checks from my medicals to my mindset to my health to everything that makes me a living being, a full agentic being. It is this period that I critically examine them. I don't know about you. And because of that, from now, exactly 2 weeks today, it's my birthday. So the whole period of these 2 weeks, I'll be here. Let's have these difficult and yet necessary conversations. If you are to take stock of your life, what are your barometers? What do you measure your life with? I'm only sharing mine so you'll be able to extrapolate what suits you as a person. Because just like I always say, many a time these are things we already know. But then we need someone to continually knock at the door of our hearts. So we would now take them serious. It's not because you don't know what to do. But you'll be now a reminder periodically. So it becomes a wake-up call for you. How do you assess your life? Because Sienia Bray just doing and doing and doing and doing so much. Some of you are amazing. You do so much. But if we don't pause and reassess life, based on the yardsticks you'd give to yourself, we'll just be busy and yet we might not be productive. We might be busy for the world to clap for us, but our souls might not be happy. We might be busy according to the specifications of the world, but we might not be purposeful. So it is very, very important that periodically we pause to reassess life. I don't know about you. There is something I do with my counselees. Now, I prefer to use coaching than counseling because it's not like you dump things on people. No, you guide people through their options. And whatever they choose, you work through with them. There's something I introduced about 2 years ago is helping people. And I said, nah, I won't help you without helping myself too. So that is the state of your union. If it's marriage, a love life, whatever it is, what is the state? What is the state of your health, your finances, your mental health? You put it there. You put it there. What is the state of your life? What is the state of your life? What is the state of your life? So you put it there because you know where your life is supposed to go as a person. Oh, hi, Kojo. Good evening. Thank you so much for being on. So, the state of your life. How do you assess the state of your life? And today I'm talking about something that is so much dear to me. Something that I got this awareness 10 years, I think 11th year now, on my 40th birthday. After you've lived to impress and please everybody, are you living your life or you are living bits and pieces of other people's lives? And I discovered that it arises from the fact that we are free to take our own decisions. Everybody's going, let's go, then you two are going. Everybody is going to Accra. You want to end up in Accra, but in Kebia, and go for different routes, I could do Accra. But because everybody is going, you're also going. Today, let's have a conversation. And the whole week, I'll be here. We'll talk about deep things. You see, life does not truly begin the day you are born. Neither does it begin at 40, as you've been told. It does not even begin the day you are old enough to know right from wrong. Life, your life, my life, begins the day we are ready to take our own decisions. Life, your life, my life, begins the very day we are ready to take our own decisions. Until then, we are just simply moving in the shadows of other people's choices. Our parents' guidance, society's expectations, culture's philosophies, even your friends' opinions. Nti yɛdi mmirika saa w'ani bɛte na wɔadi 40 and 50 and then 60 and 70 and then life is gone. Energy starts declining. Is this how life is supposed to be? While these influences are important, how dare you as a child know in the African context, know where you want to be? No. Oh, Kojo, September is your birth month as well. Hooray! We'll celebrate the goodness of the Lord too. You see, into when you bet so nipa no, now we're the 40 and 50. And son, even then, so when you could draw the baker say, no, this is not what I want. What's a 160-degree turn about? When you bet back so nipa no, now we're the 40 and 50. Na even 40 and 50 no po, sɛ still a wansesa w'adwene wɔ w'akoma mu a, wobɛtumi anenam wiase saa. When you bet in the 60. Now what Danny would cheer beside say, why? How did I get here? You never left anything about you. It was just the guidance from family, society's expectation, culture, philosophies, even other people's opinions. Into one kasa one more brab, a bray or brab bobbit in yakase. This life is the life I want. While these influences might be important, they can shape you and give you wisdom. They were never meant to be a roadmap of your destiny. Yes, ebetumi aboa, wobetumi anya parents bi a they were futuristic enough to plan a life for you, but trust me. So when doom pempenso bi a wobɛka sɛ no, we're beautiful. This is what was handed to me. This is society's expectation. These are what people want, expect of me. But this is what purpose is calling me into. Wobɛnenam wiase, obiara bɛbɔ ne nsɛm ama wo. Ei, ɔyɛ ade o, ɔyɛ ade o. But wankasa w'abrabɔ renkɔ mma wo sɛdeɛ wopɛ da. You will just be living bits and pieces of other people's lives. Before you open your eyes, you are 40 and you are 50. People's expectations, cultures, philosophies, parents' guidance. You don't have a life of your own. And sometimes, as a psychosocial counselor, working with people in their late 60s and sometimes in their 70s, and they share their regrets. And I'm like, why is it that a lot of people can't see this until the cookie crumbles? They were never meant to be the roadmap of your destiny. Society's expectations, parents' guidance. When you know this is what you want, but your parents are choosing for you. And as an African child, even when you are 50, they still see you as their child, their daughter. So you are not supposed to choose anything. You are supposed to say yes, mom, and yes, dad. Yes, mom, and yes, dad at age 50. And you are supposed to put that public facade of all is well with you when your soul is bleeding. You can borrow people's philosophies, but you cannot borrow their journeys. You can borrow people's philosophies, but you cannot borrow their journeys. We are supposed to pick, we are, we are just supposed to pick what should be on our journey for us. But the African child is not allowed. You can be inspired by their perspectives, but you cannot outsource your purpose. For your purpose, you cannot outsource it. You can be inspired by people's perspectives, but you cannot outsource your purpose. Every voice around you may advise, warn, or direct, but at the end of the day, the steps you take must be your own steps. Every voice around you. And many a time you see these people, it's not because they wish bad for us, they don't even know. And of course, we don't know what we don't know. As a parent with a daughter 21 years old, my passion is to guide them right from what? From what I know. From what I know at this level. It is what they know that they share. What do you know about your own journey too? Every voice around you may advise. Some will warn, others will try to direct you, but at the end of the day, the steps you take must be your own. The danger of never making your own decisions is that you live a life designed for someone else's comfort, not your own fulfillment. Someone else's comfort. What does your daughter do? Oh, she's in the law school. It is not about your daughter, it is about your comfort. Whereby she could have been an awesome marketer, an entrepreneur. Your comfort and all the advice is coming from the comfort and the philosophies of other people. Your comfort. So the more we grow up with the other people's philosophy, the more we embrace their lifestyles and their life journey. It has nothing to do with our purpose. And if we are not careful, this awareness will only hit in your later life when you turn around and ask yourself, how did I get here? You become a passenger in a car you were meant to drive. You rather become a passenger. A passenger in a car you were meant to be the driver. And then one day you look back and wonder why your dreams so distant and your spirit feels restless. Because you can lie to everybody, but you can never lie to your soul. And the time will come, it will hit so hard because your soul comes knocking at the door of your heart and asking you, are you really living? Why are your dreams so distant and your spirit feels restless? But then you have wasted a whole chunk of your life. But you see, the moment you decide to own your choices, to draw your own roadmap, everything changes. The moment you decide to own your choices, to draw your own roadmap, everything changes. You stop being a victim of life and start being a creator of your life. Should I be louder? The moment you decide to own your choices, to draw your own roadmap, everything changes. You stop being a victim of life and start being a creator of your life. You stop waiting for permission and start granting it to yourself. Afei wontwa mu bi aka kyerɛ wo sɛ yi o, wonim sɛ yɛma wo kra nkoa wobɛyɛ. You stop drifting and you start living with direction. This doesn't mean rejecting people's wisdom and whatever insight. It means filtering wisdom. Filtering wisdom. Filtering wisdom. There are things you bring at my doorstep today, and I think you know, man, it is beautiful, but it's not for me. It will just waste my life. It would waste my resources. It would waste my capacity. It would waste my time. It is not for me. It is so good, but it's not for me. It is not for me. I won't waste my resources on it. I won't waste my money on it. I won't spend my time on it because it is not for me. It is so beautiful. The whole world is applauding it, but it is not for me. It means learning from others, but daring to apply it in a way that is authentic to you. It doesn't mean you won't learn. It doesn't mean you won't listen. It doesn't mean you won't take advice. No. But you filter everything, even the wisdom, you filter it. It means having the courage to say, this is my life. I will live it. And I will take responsibility for the outcome too. So today I ask you, in these 2 weeks that I'm going to be here every 8 p.m. as I mark my 51st birthday, September 14th, I ask you, Are you living by decisions you've made or by default you've inherited? Is your life the result of your decisions or bits and pieces of what other people chose for you? I wish I'm now 40 with what I know today, but there's no way I can go back to 40. It is 11 years on. Whether I accept it or not, 2 weeks today, I'll be 51. So this week, I ask you, are you living by decisions you've made or by default you've inherited? Because until you're ready to take your own decisions, your life hasn't really begun yet. Yes. Until you are ready to take your own decisions, your life hasn't really begun yet. It hasn't really begun yet. And the danger about this is people might see you and think you are doing so well. The crowd will be clapping for you, and yet you know in your soul that this is not the life you dream about. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs the original version of you. That's bold, authentic, and unafraid to walk a road only you can create. Where everybody is speaking, he's saying this, she's saying this. The world is filled with voices, opinions, judgment, philosophies, and advice. When we have doctrines, dogmas, and people's opinion, and everybody's dumping on you, and you embrace all this until you look around and ask yourself, no, this is not it. Some speak from wisdom, others from ignorance, others from ignorance. And many a time the ignorance is so loud that all you have to do is to wink and pass. And they are the people who would, force their philosophies and advice on you by force or by crook. Some speak with love, others with envy. In the middle of all that noise, I want to ask you again one simple question. Regardless of what the world is saying, what religions are saying, what societies are saying, what are you saying? You, what are you saying to yourself? What are you saying? He's saying this, she's saying that, they are saying this. What are you saying to yourself? Because at the end of the day, it is not the voice of others that will shape your destiny. It is your own voice. What you say about yourself, what you believe about your journey, what you declare over your life, that is what builds or breaks you. If you constantly repeat the negative words of others, you become the prisoner of their limitations. The prisoner of other people's limitations. Of other people's limitations. If you echo doubt, fear, or failure, then you build a future rooted in someone else's disbelief. But if you speak possibility, if you speak hope and strength into your life, then you create the reality that reflects your vision, not their opinion. If you speak possibility, if you speak hope, if you speak strength into your life, then you create a reality that reflects your vision, not other people's opinion. So it's not about what he's saying or what she's saying, but the question is, what are you saying? Are you affirming your worth? Or you are tearing down yourself? Are you aligning your words with your vision, or you are letting your own tongue, sabotage your tomorrow? Remember this, my dear one. Your voice carries the authority of creation in your life. Your voice, it carries the authority of creation in your life. So when I say I want to be 60 and still be like this, you might say I'm bragging, but I'm speaking, I'm prophesying to my own life. And because of that, it influences my choices. Everything I put into my mouth that gets into my system echoes what I tell myself concerning my health. Your voice carries the authority of creation in your life. If you believe that because you are aging, every sickness and every disease, even the autoimmune diseases that are caused by lifestyle will just visit you every day, that is the life you want. I know I can grow. I'm not afraid to grow old because I know I can age gracefully. I can be healthy and happier even in old age. Your voice carries the authority of creation in your life. Your words can build walls or open doors. They can breathe life into your dreams or bury them before they begin. The choice is always to make. So I challenge you today. And in all these 2 weeks that I'm going to be here, 8 p.m. every evening, these are the challenges I'm going to throw. Because next year, September, I'll be here. I will be here to measure how far we've gone, whether we were just saying it or we went into action and made things happen. Whether we made it happen or we're just joking. Stop living as an echo. Stop living as an echo. Stop being defined by the chatter around you. Choose to be a voice, your own voice, clear, strong, and unapologetic. If you have to say no, say it with grace. He's saying this, she's saying that, but the only thing that truly matters is what you are saying. What are you saying to yourself? What are you believing about yourself? In case you don't know, a whole crowd can be wrong. Something I wish somebody had told me in my 20s. So the fact that you are following everybody doesn't mean you're on the right path. A whole crowd can be wrong. History has proven it over and over again. Crowds once believed the earth was flat. Go read. Crowds once believed the earth was flat. Crowds cheered while innocent people were condemned. Crowds followed leaders into wars that destroyed nations. Crowds rejected visionaries who later changed the world. So you see, numbers do not equal truth. Numbers do not equal truth. Consensus does not equal wisdom. Just because everybody is saying it doesn't mean it's right. Just because everybody is doing it doesn't mean it's right for you. A whole crowd can move in one direction and still be heading straight into distraction. So I refuse to fit in at this age. If I'm supposed to stand out, I dare not fit in. That is why critical thinking, personal conviction, and courage are so important. Sometimes the lone voice, the unpopular opinion, the one person who dares to stand against the noise is the only one seeing clearly. You might be that voice, but you're afraid of being rejected, so you also conform. You also conform. the lone voice, the unpopular opinion, the one person who dares to stand against the noise is the only one seeing clearly. So don't be afraid to be the lone voice. When it comes to your life, you can listen to everybody, but let it be your inspiration. Because you might be the only one seeing clearly once it comes to your life, your time, your resources, your energy. Yes, the whole crowd can be wrong. An entire multitude of people, united in voice, can still be marching in the wrong direction. If a whole crowd believed that the earth was flat, then it means you are not supposed to silence your voice because the whole crowd is choosing something else that is not your journey in this life. The crowd laughed at inventors, rejected visionaries, and dismissed dreams. Every visionary was once a mad person until they broke through. Until the very people they mocked reshaped the world. A crowd may give you numbers, but numbers do not guarantee truth. Consensus does not guarantee wisdom. So just because everybody is saying, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, doesn't mean that is what you have to say. More importantly, to yourself too. That doesn't mean you have to follow. That doesn't mean it is for you. We don't have the luxury of time to just waste life. A lie repeated by thousands does not suddenly becomes the truth. Just because everybody has bought into that lie, just because everybody believes that lie, because it's been said repeatedly, it doesn't mean suddenly it has become the truth. No. The danger of following the crowd is that you may lose your own mind in the process. You may silence your own conviction, your critical thinking, and your values just to blend with the noise. And that's the sad aspect of life. When you have to silence your own inner conviction, your critical thinking, and your values, so you can blend in with the noise. When everybody sees you as the difficult person, so you have to fit in by silencing your voice, silencing your inner conviction. Put aside your critical thinking and your values so you can blend with the noise. And when the crowd finally crashes, you would realize you were never truly living by your own choices. You are only echoing this. But then you've wasted your time, your energy, your resources, your life. The lone voice that dares to question, the single heart that chooses integrity over popularity, the one person who stands for what is right even when mocked. That is the voice that changes history. Should I repeat? The one person that might be you that dares to question when everybody is afraid. That single heart that chooses integrity over popularity. That one person who stands for what is right even when mocked. That is the voice that changes history. That is the voice that changes history. That is the voice that lights the way when the crowd is stumbling in darkness. So the next time you hear everybody saying it, pause and ask yourself, the fact that everybody is saying it doesn't make it true. Pause and ask yourself, is it true? Just because everybody is doing it, is it right for you? Just because everybody is choosing it, is it the best choice for you? The next time you feel the pull to follow the masses, stop and ask, does this align with my values, my vision, and my truth? Because a whole crowd can be wrong. But one courageous person who refuses to be swept away by the noise can be the reason a generation wakes up. One courageous person who refuses to be swept away by the noise can be the reason a whole generation wakes up. So you need to build your own perspectives in the midst of many schools of thought. You need to build your own perspectives in the midst of many schools of thought. If not, you'll just be running through life very busy and yet not productive. You might even be productive, but you might not be purposeful. They are two different things. We live in a world overflowing with information. 1,000 voices are speaking at once. Scholars, leaders, mentors. Some mentors who even become tormentors because they want to impose. Friends, even strangers on the internet. Everywhere you turn, there is a philosophy, an opinion, a school of thought telling you how to live, what to believe, and where to go. Yes. And yet, in the midst of all this, in the midst of all this noise, the critical question is, how can you build your own perspectives? How can you build your own perspectives? If not, we'll just be running in circles, and before we realize, we are 50 and 60 and 70, and life is over. The truth is, it starts with listening, not to agree with everything you hear, but to expose yourself to different angles of thought. You cannot build your perspective in isolation. Every great mind sharpened itself by wrestling with the ideas of others. Every great mind sharpened itself by wrestling with the ideas of others. So read widely, listen carefully, but never surrender your ability to question and to interrogate. Secondly, reflect. Don't just swallow information because it sounds good or popular. Oh, he's saying it. He's a popular person. So because he's saying that, it might be right. No, interrogate it. Don't just swallow information because it sounds good or popular. Sit with it. Weigh it against your values, your wisdom, and your life experience or the experiences you've lived. Does this align with the kind of life I want to build? Those are the question that always come to mind. Does this align with the kind of life I want to build? Does it serve me or does it confine me? You can get your own questions But everything I hear, regardless of where it's coming from, I ask myself, does this align with the kind of life I want? Does it serve me or does it confine me? Totally decide, because perspectives are not inherited, they are built. You can borrow wisdom, you can learn from mistakes, but ultimately, you must construct your own philosophy, your own lens through which you interpret the world. These are internal things that nobody can do it for us. If we pick on from other people, you can live to a certain point, but you can never live your truest and authentic self. You would always be pretending to be somebody you are not. You would always be running away from things that are not supposed to scare you. So you can borrow wisdom. You can iterate wisdom, information, knowledge, whatever. But ultimately, you must construct your own philosophy, your own lens through which you interpret the world. And that only happens when you dare to think, to question, to interrogate, and to own your convictions. So, in conclusion, remain open. Perspectives should not be cages, but pathways. Sometimes I sit back and ask myself, so were these the things I believed 30 years ago? And I laugh at my own self. Perspectives. Perspectives should not cage, but become pathways. The moment you stop evolving, you stop growing. Life will always test your beliefs and challenge your paradigms. Allow your perspective to mature, to stretch, and to deepen with time. So, how do you build your own perspectives in the midst of many schools of thought? You listen, you reflect, you decide, and you stay open. Because your voice matters, your perspective matters, and the world doesn't just need echoes, it needs individuals who have dared to think for themselves. Individuals who have dared to think for themselves. So 2 weeks straight, I'm going to be here every 8 p.m. Let's have these difficult yet necessary conversations. You can add yours. If you want to come on, I can let you on. If you want me to read your comments, you can put in there. I don't profess to know it all. I am still learning. But I am glad I am learning, because I am just sad that I didn't know what I know today. And that is life. And that is why when sometimes people come at you thinking that their perspective is the ultimate way, you just have to wink and pass, because we don't know what we don't know. It is only because of what they know today. That is why they are coming to you at that angle. If they learn more and they know more, they realize there are other schools of thought. Oh, Dr. Lotus, great that you are on. I'm honored. Thank you so much. So that is it. That is it. The more we learn, the more we acquire knowledge, the more the old self gives way to the new knowledge we have acquired. But if we don't interrogate this knowledge and people just throw things at us and we are just running with them, and you're not able to derive your own perspectives, you can't be living a full energetic life, because wote kakra wɔ ha na wode kɔ, wote kakra wɔ ha na wode kɔ, until you come to the awareness that you have wasted life. If you want to live a full agentic adult, then learn to build your own perspective. Wote kakra wɔ ha, wote kakra wɔ ha, then you question and interrogate them. Say, and you're careful. We'll just go through life, living bits and pieces of other people's lives. And before you open your eyes, you are 50 and you are 60. And you turn back and ask yourself, how did I get here? Because this is not the life I'd wanted to live. This is not the life I'd wanted to live. Is this the dream life you want for yourself? If not, what are you going to do about it? How did you get here? Your perspective matters. Your perspective matters. And until you are ready to take your own decisions, your life hasn't started yet. You are told life begins at 40. That's a big lie. I wish I knew all what I know today in my 20s. But now that I know them, if I can't use them to transform my own life, then what is the use of knowing them? And many a time we've been told knowledge is power, knowledge is power. So people keep on consuming so much knowledge and yet they don't use this knowledge. It is not knowledge that is power, it's the applied knowledge that is power. So as we learn, let us do so much work in us that it will change our life inside out. If you change outside in, you struggle. You only be living a pretentious life when everybody might think you are doing so well and yet your soul is bleeding, because that is just a public facade. If the change happens inside out, your soul cannot deny that change. Your spirit and your soul and your body will be in alignment. And there is no way you can hide that because it would come out for everyone else to see that the growth has taken place in you. Growth has taken place in you. Oh, hi, Douglas. Thank you. So life didn't begin the day you were born. In the context of it, yes, biological form. It begins the day you are ready to take your own decisions. It begins the day you are ready to take your own decisions. To say, this is beautiful. Your perspective is beautiful, but let me interrogate it to derive my own perspective out of it so we don't become zombies. There is a savior here and we are running. There is a savior there and we are running. You are the only savior that can save your own self. So don't be moving in the shadows of other people's choices, their guidance, their expectations, their philosophies, even their opinions. In as much as you can get wisdom out of it, you are supposed to challenge these. They are not meant to be your roadmap to your destiny. So in these 2 weeks, just like I said, I'll be here every evening, 8 p.m. GMT. Let's have these difficult and yet necessary conversations because I don't believe life is supposed to be this complicated. No. But if you get it wrong, we can be running in circles and yet will not go anywhere. So until I come your way again, I say much love and blessings. Stop being a victim of life and start being a creator of life. Stop waiting for permission and start granting it to yourself. Thank you everyone for being on. I'll see you tomorrow where we have a longer conversation. Much love and blessings.